Hey, sports fans, you know the sound, you know the time. It's time for another episode of the Unbiased podcast. I'm your host, as always, Mr. Unbiased, Connor Bennion. Today, Tuesday, November 22nd, 2022. Listen, I'm busy, you're busy. Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Let's get to it. World stage, Qatar World Cup 2022. Men's national team. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, mainly because if you check out the link in the description below, it'll lead you to my other podcast, the Babbling Bennion, where I really break down the U.S. men's national team performance against Wales yesterday, which ended in a 1-1 draw, I believe 36th minute by Tim Way. Really was a compilation and an exploding point of Team US, not Team USA. I did that on the Babbling Bennion. United States men's national team. It was really a compilation and a build-up and finally a release of the United States men's national team absolutely controlling the game against Wales. Second half, it was not quite the same. It didn't seem like they had that killer instinct. It didn't seem like they were really putting down the hammer. And in the 85th minute, Gareth Bale, one of the best players, I mean, maybe not now, but he has a lot of hardware in his trophy case. One of the great players that we've seen for Wales draws an 85th minute penalty kick, which was a penalty, not a very good defensive play by, I believe it was Tim Ream in the box, and then a converted penalty kick by Bale tied the game at 1, and then a draw leads to, a 1-1 draw leads to 1 point for Team United States men's national team. 1 point for the United States men's national team, 1 point for Wales. Now here's the thing. Again, check out the Babbling Bennion for a much greater in-depth analysis of the United States men's national team Friday. We're going to relate to this back in at the end of the episode, because I'm going to talk about men's national team in regards to Connor's question. Here's what I'm just going to say, and then we're going to hop right off of men's national team and keep going because we're busy. We are busy. What it comes down to is on Friday, United States men's national team, they face England, ranked 5th in the FIFA world rankings, for really, again, in my opinion, the deciding factor of who's going to win the group. Like, that's how confident I am that England is going to beat Wales more than they would beat Team USA should they beat Team USA. I'm trying to keep my biased view because obviously an American, blue-blooded, red, white, and blue coursing through my veins. You see my socks right now. I mean, today was a great day for soccer. It was a great day to have the United States men's national team back in the World Cup they missed in 2018. So it's been since 2014. I remember that World Cup very well. Having them back, honestly and truthfully, I believe Friday could arguably be the biggest game in United States men's national team history up to this point. And the reason I say that is because should they win that game, I believe that they would be led to have the skill and the ability and just the pure willpower to beat Iran in the third group match. And then all of a sudden, they're probably winning the group. They're in a very favorable bracket, and they could make a run. Now, I'm not saying Team USA is going to go win the World Cup, and I'm just trying to keep this biased. I'm trying to keep this a unbiased opinion, but this is a U.S. team. They're incredibly young, second youngest roster in all of the World Cup this year. Incredibly young roster, incredibly talented roster. Done correctly, this team, this Team USA, this team, the United States men's national team, they could be a team to watch in this World Cup as they try and make a run. So, wildly exciting first game. Again, unfortunately, didn't quite go their way, but it is so good to have the red, white, and blue back in the men's World Cup. That is all that we'll cover. Friday is, again, when USA plays England in World Cup Group B Match 2, and I believe it is 12 noon Mountain Time. Make sure you watch and support Team United States men's national team. I cannot say that. I keep trying to say Team USA. Go USA, United States men's national team, Friday against England. What a game coming up. That is all that we'll, again, review for the World Cup for now. And again, for the more in-depth analysis, one more drop, check out my other podcast, The Babbling Bennion. I'll leave the link in the description below. to the NBA. We're going to stay in the state, of course, the Utah Jazz. Yesterday, it was a late game, so if you stayed up and caught it, the Jazz dropped a 121-114 game to the Los Angeles Clippers. The 2 nights before, it was Saturday night, the Jazz played the Portland Trail Blazers. Damian Lillard did leave with an injury, but he played... sorry, I'm trying to grab my iPad while trying to sneakily keep the show going. So, anyway, now that I've ruined it, let's just pull this up, shall we? Saturday night, the Jazz won at Portland 118-113, which gave them the lead in the Western Conference with a 12-6 record. And then the night before, they played Phoenix and beat the Suns 134-133 in an instant absolute classic. What a game. Devin Booker was on fire. Lauri Markkanen had a career-high 38 points. So congratulations to him. Had this huge step back that turned out to be really, in essence, the game winner because they ended up winning by 1 point. And then actually few days before that, on Tuesday, that was the day of the last episode, I told you I was going to the Jazz-Knicks game. I was there, and the Jazz dropped a 118-111 loss, which pushed Utah to a 3-game losing streak. You know, just real quickly about the Jazz, just because that's all I'm going to cover, is the 4 games that we missed. This Utah team, in all of their losses, they have lost by single digits, all except one at Denver. This is a Jazz team that I had a friend bring up, and he was showing it was on I think it was on a podcast he had watched that had said teams that win 12 games in their first 20 games played. So they played their 19th game tonight. Jazz are 12-9. They play the Detroit Pistons on Wednesday, and they're the favorite to win that game. So if, let's say the Jazz win that game, they're 13-7 through 20 games. Teams that have 13 wins through the team's first 20 games make the playoffs, have made the playoffs 97% of the time. And he made the mention that's probably again it is mainly based on teams before the play-in tournament. So Utah's in a grand position to make the playoffs, which is a sign of success because this was a team that was projected to win 29 games and was in the running for the lottery picks. And right now they're the top team in the West. So Jazz, since we last met, split 2 wins, 2 losses, 1 road win, 1 road win, 1 road win, 1 road loss, 1 home win, 1 home loss. That's all for the Utah Jazz. Let's keep it rolling because, again, busy. We're all busy. I totally get it. We jump to the college football world, and once again, week after week, things just really happen that set up some games happen that are unbelievable, and things happen that set up unbelievable opportunities again. Let me hit you with the top 25 super quick. Number 1, Georgia. Number 2, Ohio State. Number 3, Michigan. Number 4, TCU. Those 4 teams stayed the same. Number 5, USC. We'll talk about them in a second. Number 6, LSU. Number 7, Clemson. Number 8, Alabama. Number 9, Tennessee. Number 10, Oregon. Number 11, Penn State. Number 12, Washington. Number 13, Notre Dame. Number 14, Utah. Number 15, Kansas State. Number 16, Florida State. Number 17, UCLA. Number 18, North Carolina. Number 19, Tulane. Number 20, Ole Miss. Number 21, Cincinnati. Number 22, Oregon State. Number 23, Coastal Carolina. Number 24, Texas. And number 25, University of Central Florida, UCF. So here's the thing. This week, sorry guys. I'm rushing so much to get through everything that I'm forgetting what I'm supposed to be doing, kind of. My overall record is 144-94, so a perfect 50 games over 500. I had a really good week altogether, so we'll talk about that in a second. But for the NCAA, this week alone, sorry, all my papers are flipped upside down. This week, for my NCAA records, I went 5-1. Pushing my record in the NCAA to 50-24, so a pretty good week again, pretty good record for me. for the NCAA. And again, this week I went, four. Oh, I went 4-1. That means my numbers are going to be just a little bit off. So I'm, 49? Yeah, I'm 49-24. My apologies. 49-24. Games I was correct on: Utah Tech at BYU. I had BYU winning, and I was there, and it was a great send-off to the seniors and the players who are probably entering the NFL draft, like Jaron Hall and Puka Nacua. BYU ended up winning 52-26. I don't want to harp on this. I don't want to spend time on this because I especially don't want this to be a salt in an open wound. Number 10, Utah was at number 12, Oregon. If Utah would have won this game, they would have been in the Pac-12 championship. However, it was at Oregon. I had Oregon winning this game, and Oregon did end up winning this game 20-17. Now, the reason I say I don't want to pour salt on an open wound is because, once again, and I don't mean to bring this up, especially because I haven't had anybody say otherwise to me, so I probably shouldn't act like there's people like behind my back saying this. But again, I didn't pick against Utah because I hate Utah, because I don't like them, because I'm a BYU fan. I'm just trying to express and hopefully back up that I give unbiased opinions, and I had a reason to pick against Utah. Oregon, with their loss 2 weeks ago to Washington, snapped like a 40-game home win streak, and I just don't see how you go from winning 40 games in a row at home and then dropping 2. So I had Oregon. They ended up winning. Bo Nix led this offense, and this was a completely different Oregon team that played Utah twice last year and got cremated in both games. I had Oregon winning, and they were victorious 2017. My one game I was incorrect on, San Jose State at Utah State. I had San Jose State winning this game, and Utah State was victorious 35-31, so a great win from them. They're bowl eligible now as they go into their last week of the season, so they will more than likely obviously be in the bowl games. Weber State played at Northern Arizona, and I had Weber State winning that game, and they did. It took a game-winning field goal, 33-31, but they were victorious. And the only top 25 matchup was, the other top 25 matchup, it was Utah and Oregon was one of them. The other was an absolute dogfight in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. The number 8 USC Trojans were victorious over the number 17 UCLA Bruins, and I had USC winning that game. And at one point, they were down 14-0, and it looked like it could get away from them quickly. So a great rebound. USC picks up the win. At number 5, they're in a great position to enter the college football playoff for the first time in their program history, and maybe right the ship and return themselves to national dominance. Saturday, or this week I should say, was Upset Central, and one that I'm going to start with because I go from highest ranking down to lowest ranking. Number 5 Tennessee was at South Carolina. Not only did Tennessee, who was still really had a great opportunity to make the college football playoff, it was shattered into it wasn't shattered, it was shattered into a billion pieces, because not only did South Carolina win, South Carolina, unranked, beats number 5 Tennessee 63-30. And I mean, they absolutely dominated Tennessee. They put up 35 points in the first half. 63-38 South Carolina over Tennessee. Again, we already talked about number 10 Utah was at number 12 Oregon. Again, officially it's an upset, but I mean, beating Oregon, beating a team that's only 2 spots below you in this magnitude of a game, I mean, you can call it an upset if you want. That's really hard for Utah to do. Number 13 North Carolina and hosted Georgia Tech and lost to Georgia Tech 21-17. That game was 17-0 at one point, and then Georgia Tech scored the last 21 points and won that game 21-17. Number 13 Ole Miss, the wheels are kind of falling off for them. They fell at Arkansas and they got hammered 42-27. Number 20 UCF fell to Navy 17-14. Number 22 Oklahoma State was at Oklahoma and they got handled pretty well. Oklahoma wins that game 28-13. And number 24 North Carolina State was at Louisville, and Louisville beat them 25-10 in front of their home crowd. So those were the upsets we saw. Plenty to shake up that top 25, hence the reasons that the rankings were different. we will move on to the games that we'll talk about that I will predict this week, and then we'll jump to the NFL. We're making great time, you guys. BYU is at Stanford. Now, here's the thing. BYU did not play well, especially the first half against Utah Tech. Of all schools, Utah Tech in the WAC, from the WAC conference. So, in theory, I should pick Stanford because they're at home. And again, if BYU struggled at home to a Utah Tech team going on the road, everything points to Stanford. BYU is a 6.5-point favorite. It's Jaron Hall's last. It's Jaron Hall, Puka Nakua's last non-bowl game, performance of their career. There's just something that, for some weird reason, makes me feel like BYU is going to pull it out. It reminds me of last year when they played at USC and they ended up pulling out that win to not the USC team of this year, obviously, but just a Pac-12 team that they were able to go in and beat. Everything tells me to pick Stanford, but my football gut. I'm going to stick with my football gut, and I've got BYU winning their regular season finale at Stanford. Number 14, Utah's at Colorado. Colorado, I believe, is 1-10. Utah is going to win this game. I've got the Utes winning. Utah State's at Boise State. Up on the Smurf turf. That's a tough one for Utah State. I'm going to pick Boise State to win this game. But, Utah State's been playing pretty well again. They just got that win over San Jose State, so watch out for the Aggies. Weber State hosts North Dakota. So just a hopefully quick education point. Most colleges, BYU, Utah, Utah State, those three, they play in what's called the FBS, which is the Football Bowl subdivision, because you have the bowl game seasons, like the Peach Bowl and the Orange Bowl and the Rose Bowl. So that's the Football Bowl subdivision. Weber State plays in what's called the FCS, which is, I believe, the Football Conference subdivision, and they actually have a playoff format. And so Weber State is in that playoff format. They host North Dakota as an at-large bid because they did not win the Big Sky conference, but they are in there hosting North Dakota on Saturday. So go Weber State, go Wildcats, win, move on, lose, and your season's over. So exciting opportunity there for Weber State. Going out of the state, top 25 matchups. Number 19 Tulane is at number 21 Cincinnati, and I've got Cincinnati winning this game. Number 10 Oregon is at number 22 Oregon State. I pause for just a second because if Oregon were to lose this game, unfortunately, if my math is correct, Utah still wouldn't make the Pac-12 championship. I can't remember if Oregon is officially in. I know USC is officially in. I apologize, I don't have that study done. But, a loss here could really, really benefit the Utes. But I've got Oregon winning this game at Oregon State. Number 13, Notre Dame is at number 5, USC. Talk about a heavy dogfight coming in the Coliseum. I like USC winning, and really, arguably, because, I look at USC and they're going to play Notre Dame and they're going to play their Pac-12 championship game. If USC beats Notre Dame and wins their Pac-12 championship game, I think it's going to be Oregon. USC has arguably one of the best reasons and arguments to make the college football playoff, and maybe not going in as the 4th seed, but maybe that 3rd seed and playing the 2nd seed instead of playing 1st seeded, probably Georgia. So Notre Dame at USC. I've got USC. I love this team that Lincoln Riley's created. Caleb Williams, the transfer quarterback from Oklahoma, has found his way again. They put up 48 points, and I like the Trojans Saturday night against Notre Dame. Talk about a rivalry. Talk about a game. And then the game, is as it is known. Number 3, undefeated 11-0 Michigan at number 2, undefeated Ohio State. Winner of this game goes to the Big Ten Championship. I think the winner of this game wins the Big Ten Championship and is into the college football playoff. And I'm going for those Buckeyes in Columbus. I think the home field advantage and the team I just think is better than Michigan. It's going to be interesting to see what happens to Michigan in the way of Should they lose this game to Ohio State, and vice versa, should Ohio State lose this game to Michigan, both teams are in the same division, so they will not meet in the Big Ten championship game. So one of these teams is going to have one loss on the season should the winner go on to win the Big Ten championship. The loser will only have one loss, and it will be to either the number 2 team in the nation or the number 3 team in the nation. Otherwise, they're undefeated. So the game, this is the first time these two teams have met with undefeated records since 2006, where they were both number 2 and number 3. Talk about a dogfight. Some of the best college football is coming down to the wire. Those are the games that we'll cover. Talk about a week of college football. Cannot wait to see this great weekend of sports unfolding. USA England Friday, the game Saturday. Oh, sorry. Duh. I made a kind of a goof, and I kind of forgot to work on my transition, and that is this weekend of sports starts with Thanksgiving football. So then I was going to say Thanksgiving football Thursday, England USA Friday, the game Saturday, and then for me, it's Chiefs-Rams on Sunday. Again, the last time these two teams met, it was the highest scoring game in Monday Night Football history, but these two teams are a lot different than they were when they met that time. Mainly the Rams. Anyway, so spoiler alert, on to the NFL. My NFL record is 94-70. This record's corrected. It was just my college record was 49-24, and my overall record would be 143-94. But my NFL record of 94-70 is correct. This week, again, same thing. I had a really good week. I actually had my best week in the NFL. I went 11-3 this week. Games I was incorrect on because they're shorter. I'll do incorrect super quick. Bears at Falcons. I had the Bears winning. Falcons ended up winning this game 27-24. Rams at Saints. I had the Rams winning, and they dropped this game to the Saints 27-20. And then the one time, well, I shouldn't say the one time. I pick against the Lions. I feel like I've been picking for them. I pick against them, and they go to New York, and they beat the Giants 31-18. Those were the 3 games I was incorrect on. The 11 I was correct on. Titans at Packers. Titans end up winning 27-17. Browns at Bills in Detroit because of the snowstorm. Bills win 31-23. Eagles at Colts. It takes the Eagles down to the wire, but they win this game 17-16. Jets at Patriots. I had the Patriots, and thank goodness for a game-winning punt return for a touchdown. The first punt return for a touchdown in the NFL this season goes against these New York Jets, but it benefited me. The pick was correct. Patriots win 10-3. Panthers at Ravens. Ravens won 13-3. Commanders at Texans. Commanders won 23-10. I had that game correct. Raiders were at the Broncos. I had the Raiders, even though it took them to overtime. Devontae Adams, dude's an animal, ends up catching like a 35-yard game winner in overtime. Raiders 22-16. Cowboys at the Vikings. Talk about a football gut. I picked the Cowboys to win, and not only did they win, but they steamrolled the Vikings 40-3. So it was a dang good thing that I picked the Cowboys. Cowboys win 40-3. I was correct on that pick. Bengals at Steelers. I picked the Bengals, and they won 37-30. Chiefs at Chargers. What a unbelievable game. Patrick Mahomes does it again. Travis Kelce does it again. 3 touchdowns, and they were all Mahomes to Kelce. Chiefs win 30-27. 49ers at Cardinals. I had the 49ers, and in Mexico, 49ers drubbed the Cardinals 38-10 last night. The bye week for the teams this week were Jacksonville, Miami, Seattle, and Tampa Bay. So again, 11-3 on my picks. Some again that went my way, some that didn't. To conclude, because we do actually, I'll leave that for when I get to it. To conclude the NFL segment, let's rapid fire through Thanksgiving football. Arguably the best time of the year because of the NFL season. Bills are at the Lions, and I've got the Bills winning that game. Giants are at the Cowboys. I know typically it seems like Thanksgiving isn't complete unless the Cowboys lose on Thanksgiving Day, but I like the Cowboys in this game. I think going off of their win, Minnesota, and coming back, even though it's a short week, I think that Thanksgiving tradition spirit, I like the Cowboys to win this enormous NFC East game. Patriots are at the Vikings to conclude Thanksgiving night football, and I've got the Vikings winning this game and bouncing back. Moving to Sunday, Buccaneers are at the Browns. I've got the Buccaneers. Bengals are at the Titans. I've got the Titans, but this is going to be a wildly entertaining rematch of the AFC divisional round last year. It's in Tennessee again, so it's just like last year. There will not be any Jamar Chase by what I understand. So I'm going to pick the Titans, but watch out for the Bengals. They could pull out a win, of course. Texans are at the Dolphins. I've got the Dolphins. Bears are at the Jets. I like the Jets to rebound and beat the Bears. Falcons are at the Commanders. I like the Commanders to keep winning with Taylor Heineke. Broncos are at the Panthers, and I'm going to pick the Broncos to win this game. Ravens are at the Jaguars. I'm picking Baltimore. I'm going with the Ravens. Chargers are at the Cardinals. Back-to-back Sunday Night Football losses in games that the Chargers definitely had chances. I like them to rebound and beat the Cardinals here. I've got the Chargers beating the Cardinals. Raiders are at the Seahawks. I like the Seahawks coming off the bye week to win. Rams are at the Chiefs. I like the Chiefs. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or biased and say I think they're going to blow them out, because I don't think they're going to blow them out. But I think, again, I just don't see how this is going to be the same game that we saw on Monday Night Football. So I've got the Chiefs beating the Rams. Saints are at the 49ers. I like the 49ers on this game. Sunday Night Football, Packers at Eagles. I like the Eagles to pick up this win. And then Monday Night Football, it's Steelers at Colts. I'm going to pick the Colts because I like the way Jeff Saturday has already built this young nucleus and culture in the short time that he's had. I'm not saying that he's going to be the coach moving forward, but I like where he's going with the opportunity and the team that he's been given. So those are my picks. Again, like I said, we're all busy, so we have blasted through. I hope you've enjoyed tuning in. For our concluding segments, unfortunately, for Questioning Connor, I actually did not receive... Oh, sorry. I need to turn around for you. For Questioning Connor, I actually did not receive any questions. So please just remember to comment a question that you'd like me to talk about on the show. But for Connor's question, no one answered my question last week. So that's okay. But I will, to end, and again, really show that I guess it is possible for me to do the show just a little bit shorter. But I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm pumped up because U.S. is in the World Cup and I was covering things. Maybe I was babbling. Yeah, maybe I was babbling a little too much and not really covering. For Connor's question that I leave for you over this Thanksgiving weekend, my question is, very simply, who do you have on Friday between USA and England? And it's kind of a two-parter. Who do you have on Friday, and who do you have winning Group B? USA, England, Wales, or Iran? That's Connor's question for this week. Again, I hope it was okay that we just absolutely blitzed through. I believe we covered everything. We got the United States men's national team, go USA. We got the Jazz in the NBA. We got college football. It's coming down to conference championships are coming up. The playoff is going to be set. We talked about the NFL. We just got through Connor's question. Again, nobody asked me a question, but again, please, if you're watching this video, find a question that you would like me to answer, put in the comment section below. Above all, have a wonderful Thanksgiving. In this season of gratitude, I'm so grateful that, again, we are still going through and being able to meet week after week. This has been a great opportunity. Thank you so much. Hope you've enjoyed this episode. Again, one last shout out, check out my other podcast, The Babbling Bennion, in the description, in the link below. Again, thank you so much. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and go USA. Support the United States men's national team as their World Cup dreams continue to push through. Thank you again. Happy Thanksgiving, and have a wonderful, wonderful week.